Hey guys, great decision for clicking the link to learn more about this industry. The insurance industry is growing exponentially and we need new people to enter this career path. My name is Dinesh Logeswaran. I'm a current senior executive director with our current firm, Experior Financial Group. I've been doing this since 2008. And at that time, I was working in the warehouse industry. Did not have any prior experience, did not have the skills, the network, did not have the communication capabilities. But over time, because I was part of this compelling environment, it allowed me to grow those skills. And I'm very proud to say today we've built a successful business. We have over 135 licensed agents, many people from different walks of life that don't have experience, but we're helping them get licensed fairly quickly because the environment's there to support them, to get them trained and learn all the skills they need. Especially if you're in a 9-to-5 today and you don't know where that 9-to-5 is going to take you. You might want a new career. You want something different. You want something that's going to be a little bit more stimulating, that can help you grow. And that was it for me in 2008 when I joined this industry. It's really because I lacked the ability to grow and I needed an environment. I needed a change. My environment that I was in that time did not help me grow. There was a lot of toxicity. My salaries were capped. I was being overworked, underpaid. A lot of taxes, right? The more you earn, you live in a progressive tax system. Working for yourself is quite different. I'm not here telling you I'm a tax specialist, but you do have some advantages. We are an MGA. That stands for Managing General Agency. Just a fancy word to say brokerage. Just means that we don't manufacture any of our own insurance products or investment products. We're partnered up with some of the most largest and most reputable insurance companies and investment companies in Canada and the USA. So I'll show you a slide with all the companies in Canada, especially because you're probably Canadian watching this video today. But if you want to get more information on the USA side, we'll actually definitely provide info on that. We've been in business since 2014, and today we have well over 10,000 licenses across North America, which is huge because as a startup in 2014 to grow to over 10,000, we're one of the fastest growing brokerages I can tell you in North America today. On top of all of that, we're the first Canadian brokerage to start in Canada and then expanding to the USA. We have two head offices, one in Guelph of Ontario and the other one is in Buffalo, New York. We're super happy and proud of where the growth has taken us, and I hope you can be part of this journey. And what is Experior Financial Group's mission statement? Every company has one. Experior's mission statement is building financial foundations for families to empower them today so that they can leave a legacy for tomorrow. What a profound statement. It's all about financial literacy. See, have you thought about the system we live in today? Are we learning how to minimize taxes, get out of debt, save for retirement, protect our income? There's nothing out there. And I was so fortunate to have found this firm, this industry that's teaching all those tools, because you can go out there and find a job and work for many years. But if you don't know what to do with your paycheck later, you're going to be in trouble. Financial independence is going to be long, far away. So this is something that I take really seriously. Our mission statement is something so dear to us. And let's talk about the statistics. See, if you take 100 people at age 65 in North America, 54% of them are dependent. Dependent on what? Well, they're dependent on the pension plan or they're dependent on their children because of lack of savings for retirement. 36%, on the other hand, are still working after retirement. Once again, lack of financial planning. They probably didn't have any accountability, did not put money aside, maybe didn't have a great pension at work. All of these things matter. 5% are deceased at 65. Now, we don't want to be in this category, but guess what? The 4% now has $1 million of net worth. They've actually put some money aside. And then the 1% has 5 million and more. Who are these 4% and 1%? Well, it's the people that actually got the education, that really understood that it takes accountability, someone to actually organize their financial planning so that they can get ahead financially. And this is the issue we have today. We have this big gap. We're not teaching these things in school. There's not really any courses out there that's helping people understand financial literacy. And this is why I became so passionate about this. My family, my parents actually struggled with money and finance. They're actually first generation immigrants that came in the 80s and did not know what to do with money and finance. They lived paycheck to paycheck. And I wanted to make it a mission that we break that gap where we have financial illiteracy. So I hope you think of the same too. In order to help our clients, we need to have the right carriers, the right insurance companies working with us. As I mentioned, we are a broker. So as you can see, we have a list of 20 plus insurance companies, some of the biggest names in the market today, most reputable and largest insurance companies. So you have your client's best interest at heart. And what about the investment solutions? See, this is an insurance license, but you can also provide investment advice. You can open up accounts such as RSPs, TFSAs, FHSAs, education savings plans, non-registered investments, a whole lot of stuff that you can do for clients to help them get ready for retirement. And these are some of our investment partners. We got so many investment management firms we work with, some of the top performing fund managers we have access to. And that's what we're proud of, because this is stuff that a lot of Canadians don't know, where their money is being invested in these accounts, and we can show them how to do it properly with all these companies at your disposal. So let me repeat this one more time. With this license, you can do so much. Experior's core business, if you're partnering up with us, you can do everything right here as far as investment planning. You can do FHSA accounts, TFSA accounts, RSP accounts. You can do non-registered investments. You can do education savings plan. It's so incredible. And on the other side, you can do life insurance, critical illness insurance, disability insurance, travel insurance. You can do health and dental insurance, a whole range of products and services that you can provide so much solutions around. Imagine the number of doors you can open and the number of lives you can touch by working with Experior and in this industry. So now you know what Experior's core business is and what you can provide. But how do you approach financial planning when you sit down with someone? Well, financial planning is like building a house. What is the most important part of building a house? Is the foundation. And in financial planning, the foundation is protection. There's 3 threats to your income: death, sickness, and disability. If any of those unforeseen events happen, what would that do to your family? What would be the concern for them? Well, a lot of them will be struggling financially, unfortunately. So in order to protect that, you need to have the proper protection. You need to have life insurance, critical illness insurance, disability insurance to protect that. And once the most important asset is protected, which is you, now you can move on to taking care of any problems with debt. See, debt is like a financial cancer out there. A lot of people are paying interest to all these institutions and don't even realize it and can't even keep up with the payments. So can you consolidate debt? Can you minimize interest rate? There's ways to do so, but you got to talk to a professional, and we can provide those strategies as well. Once debt is taken care of, now let's move on to saving, right? For your financial futures. There's different pillars you got to focus on. There's the FHSA account, there's the RSP account, there's the non-registered investments, there's the tax-free savings account, and there's also the insurance tax sheets, or called the ITS, where you can actually save in any of these pillars, but you got to realize which one makes the most sense for you in your situation. All they are is different tax categories and vehicles. The way you put money in, how it gets taxed while it's going, how it gets taxed, and when it comes out, how it gets taxed. But you got to learn why you're using one over the other. And that's another reason for you to understand this stuff, because it's going to elevate your financial future. Next, finally, once all this is pumped up, what about the roof? The roof is the passive income. See, all these assets are going to get pumped up one day. And once they're pumped up and they're to your liking, the way you want, receive it later on, as far as your retirement income, now you can withdraw from it and you'll be able to benefit and take advantage of retirement without any worries. The cash flow quadrant. And I want to give a shout out to Mr. Robert Kiyosaki. The book is called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I always like to include this in my presentation just because I want people to understand it's not just about how much money you make, it's how do you make your money, right? Which is very important. So let me start off with this. The first and most common quadrant is the employee quadrant, right? Most of us are taught at a young age when we're growing up to go to school, to get good grades, and eventually go find a job, right? Most of our parents haven't told us, hey, go to school, get good grades, and go become an entrepreneur one day, because it's always considered as high risk and it's unpredictable and we're not gonna survive in it. So employee has always been the way to go to. But here's the concern in today's day and age. Working as an employee, you might think there's some stability, but yet then again, have you thought of what happened in recent years, right? The layoffs, and sometimes management has to make decisions where they have to do restructuring and companies merges, and it's not always for the positive. So as an employee, there is some insecurity. I wouldn't really say there's job security. There's a lot of insecurities as well. But at the same time, you're spending a lot of time for money. And that's also something you have to be concerned of, because how much time do you have in a day? And if you're constantly going to be trading your time for money and you're not getting paid enough, is that going to be sustainable in the future? And also the second point is taxes. We live in a progressive tax system. As you know, the more money you make, the more taxes you pay. See, simply because you get a higher salary doesn't mean you have more disposable income after taxes. And it depends on the different provinces you might be part of today, right? So a lot of people from the employee quadrant are moving into the S quadrant, which is called self-employment. And this is where you have a little bit more control, where now your activity can create the results you desire. So if you're working extra hard that hour, you're going to be able to get rewarded for that. You get paid what you're worth. But at the same time, the taxes, okay, the tax is a little bit more in your favor. If you understand the tax system in the S quadrant, where you have a lot of write-offs, especially when it comes to business and working for yourself, can be pretty interesting, something to understand. So I see a lot of people are in the employee quadrant today working towards being self-employed. And I think it's a great strategy, it's a great idea, especially if you want to have a better shot at retirement, having more money that's available to you so you can invest more, right? As in all the 5 pillars I talked about earlier would be very helpful. So for us here at Experior Financial Group, we're not a 9 to 5. A lot of us who come here are looking for that time freedom. You know, we want to be able to put our activity in and get what's worth out of it, and not just be dictated all day long and being in the employee quadrant. Nothing against it, guys, but a lot of people today realize that they need to do something for themselves. And I think this industry, working with us, with Experior Financial, can give you that shot at working as a self-employed. So that's the E and the S. And then from the S, now you want to move to the B quadrant, which is where you have a business. A business will run with or without you. It's driven by a system. The system generates you an income, which is unheard of for a lot of people, because only the few percentage of people in this, community, which we call business owners, will be able to benefit from this business income because they have a system. A system is just simple as, hey, if I'm not operating in that business, doing the day-to-day job description because I have other employees doing it for me, am I still gonna make a source of income? Yes. And that's the whole point of running a business, is because you're looking to leverage other people's times and skills, right? Which is very important. So if you ever want to grow wealth, you'll notice that the owners of business are the ones who are scaling and growing their income because they're able to leverage other people's time. So the B quadrant means you trade your system for money, and you also have some tax advantages, especially in Canada. You know, if you can one day get incorporated, you have some pretty cool tax advantages later on. After the business quadrant is the I quadrant. And I would say everyone needs to be here, whether you're an employee, self-employed, or business owner. You got to learn how to invest your money. You got to learn how to make money work for you. See, stop thinking about working for money for the rest of your life. You got to one day decide that money will work for you, right? And you got to also learn how to become more tax efficient. These are all so important. So for us, the reason we highlight these 4 quadrants is because we want to make sure that you understand that we're not here hiring employees. That's absolutely not. We're looking for self-employed, entrepreneur-minded, driven individuals that want to one day move from self-employment to maybe a business owner. Because in the Experior model, especially unique to us, we can actually build our own agency. I do have today 135 licenses in my team, not because I decided to branch out of Experior. Experior actually offers the infrastructure for me to build my own agency inside of it, which is incredible. And I get to get access to all the resources and trainings and the mentorship inside of Experior to help me grow my team, which is incredible. A lot of people who run their own business have to work on their own and figure things out, but we have a system here that helps and supports each other. So this is what I wanted to highlight, that hey, you come in here as a self-employed, and one day if you decide to, do you want to build a business, do you want to hire other agents, you can do so too. So it's just mind-blowing and incredible to be working with our firm today. All right, I just shared exactly what are the different ways to generate income, but working with Experior Financial Group, how much can you really make? So I'm going to share an example with you here, okay, on a life insurance policy. If you were to help someone, say someone's paying $100 a month, that's a $1,200 annual premium. At the entry level, which is 70%, you would make 70% of the annual premium, which would be $840 of compensation. At our second level, which is called the senior financial associate, you're at an 85% contract level. That will generate you $1,020. At a senior manager level, you're at 100%, which is $1,200. And at 120% contract level, which is the executive director, you'll be at $1,440. Can you imagine sitting down with one client, which will probably take you a couple of hours, whether it's 1 meeting or 2 meetings, but let's just say 2 to 3, 4 hours of work to help a client set up a policy, which is needed, right? Everyone needs insurance protection, and you can generate that type of income. That's why we're one of the highest paid industries in the world. This is why you would really, really need to consider this type of profession. So insurance pays really well. And of course, as I said, we can also do investments. We can get into details, but I just wanted to show you an example of the insurance sale here, just to give you the potential of what this industry can do for you. Now, having said all this, let's talk about what it takes to get involved. What are the fees to get involved? There is a cost to starting something new, just like everything else. If you were to do a trade, if you were to go into learning how to become a cook, if you were trying to learn a new profession, a real estate agent, mortgage agent, well, in the insurance business, there is some fees. And I can tell you right now, the startup fees are very minimal. And that's why I want to present it here. So you guys got an idea of what it could be. So to start with Experior Financial Group, first of all, if you're looking to get affiliated with us, right, you would have to pay $150. It's an attachment fee with Experior that gets you in the house, and we can get you access to all the training programs, all the resources, all the tools, the concepts and strategies you need to learn with our training system. So that's step number one. Step number two is to enroll in the course, which is $229 plus tax. We have a accredited course provider. And what happens is once you finish these two things, you actually get them reimbursed. The $150 gets reimbursed. The $229 gets reimbursed. Once you are able to get through training and pass your license, Experior Financial Group will actually reimburse both of these fees. So at the end of the day, it costs you almost nothing to get started in this business, which is incredible. You've also need to pay a back office fee. Now, this back office fee of $39 plus tax starts 2 months after you start. So let's say if you started today, 2 months from now, right, 60 days from now is when the fee will start. And this is an operating cost for us. As a business owner, we have operating costs, all right? And this is for our agent portal, where we have access to the library of videos, we have marketing tools, we have the compliance that we need to stay in business, to stay compliant. We have access to tons of different trainings when it comes to personal and business. It's incredible. All right, and you would have to see it for yourself. And like I said, it would be great if we can meet so that we can actually go through it in more detail. So these are some of the fees that you would have to look forward to. And I think we should have a chat, and let's make that meeting happen very soon. Can I do it? If you're still thinking, you're like, can I do it? I come from a different background. I don't have the skills. I don't have the communication ability. I don't even have the knowledge. I don't have the network. How do I find clients? And how do I do all of that great stuff? Well, I can tell you, with the training system that we have in place, we help people get equipped with all the knowledge and skills. It's a huge personal development course, I would say. Just being part of our environment, you're going to be around such great leaders and get great speakers. That's going to elevate your mindset. And a lot of people need that today, especially if they're part of an environment right now that's not providing it. So can I do it? Yes. You'll learn so much around marketing. That's for sure. Just becoming good at marketing yourself online, presenting yourself, because people buy you. They don't buy the product, which is very important. And then the financial knowledge. What about the financial knowledge? If you just want to learn the basics of money and finance, how to minimize taxes, how to get out of debt, how to save for retirement, right? All these things are so important. Just being part of this environment, paying those little fees, I think can be really, really advantageous for you. So we have all these lists of things that we provide, right? So much support. As far as clientele, here's what I tell you. It comes down to you, of course, going and finding these clients, but do we provide a lot of support on helping you figure out the sources? Absolutely. When it comes to prospecting, what can you do? And I'm going to give it to you right here. Just like any other self-employed professional, you got to learn how to brand yourself, right? So a couple of things we teach is, for instance, how to build connections with different professionals. So if I'm an insurance agent and I'm working with an immigration consultant, an accountant, a real estate agent, a mortgage provider, all of these people are able to provide me with referrals because they're all self-employed as well. So if I can build a connection, so if you have people in your community or your network that are already doing this, you can work with them. They would send you clients that need insurance and investment advice, and vice versa. You can send them clients for their profession and the products and services they offer. That's one way. What about participating in events, sponsoring events in your community where you can attract people to come to you and kind of see what you provide as part of products and services? That's another way. Online presence. We teach people how to get online. There's no more cold calling. There's no more door knocking. You can still do those things, but at the end of the day, you can use social media to your advantage. You can go out there, present yourself. We'll teach you how to build a great profile, what to post, how to post, when to post, so that you can attract people to you rather than having to go chase people. And we have multiple examples in our company of people that don't have a network, actually newcomers to this company that don't have a network. They just got situated, but they're ready to learn and acquire clients. And we have people making a lot of success. And on top of it, the last one, I can tell you, being part of our team specifically in Experior, We also have a program where we can distribute clients to you guys. We have a system that generates leads, client leads, and we can help you if you're ready and competent with the products and services to help you with that as well. So we can also offer leads to you. So I just gave you, if you have that concern, you're like, man, okay, this is self-employed. I just gave you a couple of ways on how you're going to be able to see clients. So at least that is going to be fulfilled for you. All right. And finally, the last thing I want to share with you guys, the success stories. I just want to share this last slide. This is incredible. See, what I want you to pay attention to, and this is no way to impress you, it's more to inspire you. Look at all of these people's backgrounds, right? All these people, from teachers to accountants to engineers to truck drivers to restaurant owners to emergency medical responders. It's incredible how many of these people were in these professions, but today are working in this industry, making multiple six figures, having full control of their time, their energy, right? And the money they can make. Now, am I gonna tell you if it's gonna take work? Absolutely, it's gonna take work. But I can promise you too, you have that accountability and the leadership and the mentorship you will deserve to get you to that high level. So if you do your part, committing yourself, we will do our part. So I'm really, really hoping we can meet. If this intrigues you, let's set up a meeting, let's go into details, and let's get this going.